So, welcome along to a special interview on the Spirit of Sodality site. And I'm joined by Gerard Starkie, who is going to be doing a live show for us on the 4th of September. Gerard, you are in Bristol. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Yeah.
Excellent. That's not a Bristolian accent, though, is it?
No, it's not. I'm originally from Wigan, or,
Uh-huh.
or a little village just outside Wigan called Blackrod.
Right.
But I moved down to Bristol in 1999.
Uh-huh. And was that for work purposes, was it, presumably?
Well, the band that I was in, Witness,
Yeah.
two of us were from Wigan and two of us were from Bristol,
Right.
which made rehearsing slightly difficult.
Yeah, not easy.
So we basically we sort of moved down here. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So was Witness your first band, or what you would sort of class as your first sort of proper band?
Well, no, not really. I mean, I was playing pub gigs by the time I was 16.
Okay.
And I didn't form Witness until I was 26.
Right.
So I'd been doing sort of a lot before then. I'd probably been in 4 or 5 bands.
Right.
Like playing around sort of pubs and little clubs, and we did some supports as well. I remember I supported the Charlatans.
All right. Okay.
A couple of
Cool.
times,
Yeah.
which and then yes. So I was gigging constantly, really, from when I was 16 until I was about 25, and then I never getting anywhere with it, sending demos off and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I sort of stopped playing in a full band for a while. I bought a 4-track recorder, and me and who turned out to be the guitarist in Witness, we just started doing 4-track recordings, and almost by accident, then when we weren't really trying, we landed a record deal with Island Records.
That's quite something.
Yeah, it was as I say, it was sort of by accident. I bought the 4-track off the Verve guitarist Nick McCabe.
Yeah.
And
he was a mate of yours, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, he came from Wigan, so yeah. So we used to go out getting drunk quite a lot.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, so we'd recorded some stuff on this 4-track, and he just asked to have a listen to it, and he said, "Oh, that sounds good." And his PR man was looking for a band to start managing.
Okay.
And he passed the cassette on to him, and he started managing us, and within 6 weeks. From there, we'd got a deal with Island Records.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must have been exciting times, I'd imagine.
It was crazy, really, because as I say, I mean, I've been trying, like every band does, making the demos and posting them off and doing gigs and all that sort of thing for 10 years. And then as soon as I stopped trying, it just sort of fell on our laps.
And you look at Island Records, I mean, the history of Island Records, obviously Bob Marley is synonymous with Island Records, but I mean, you two have been on Island Records, I think, for a time, in Pulp and different groups.
So. Nick Drake, which is one of my all-time favorites, he was there as well. PJ Harvey. Yeah. I mean, it's a legendary label, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So you must have been pretty excited, really, as to how the future was going to be for you in the band.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it was. We got signed. I think it was my 27th birthday. I got the call to say that we were definitely going to get signed.
Yeah.
And prior to that, I sort of had it in my head that you would sort of, if you weren't sort of if you hadn't done your thing by the time you're 27, you were sort of past it.
Yeah.
And so again, not only was I not attempting to really get a record deal at that time, I just sort of hit the age when I thought I'm past it now.
Yeah.
And then it all just sort of unfolded in front of me.
So how did that sort of change your life? I mean, obviously financially it changed your life, I guess, but also in terms of the sort of the expectations of the record label and the sort of disciplines, I suppose, that you had to put to every day, rather than just being, the guy who did the pub brands, if you like, in and around Greater Manchester.
Yeah, well, I mean, once we got the deal had come in, then we put a full band together, and I mean, it did change my life completely. We got a rehearsal studio, which was an old chip shop in Wigan. We had the chip shop bit soundproofed, and I lived upstairs above it, and we'd work on stuff sort of 5 days a week.
Uh-huh.
And we started going out on tour and going into proper big expensive recording studios and the whole bit.
Yeah. And were you just, when you were doing the support slots, and that was for other Island record label acts, was it?
With Witness, we did loads of fantastic supports. We supported the Charlatans on a big tour.
Yeah,
they were on Ireland at the time, but we also supported we supported Wilco, who were one of my favorite bands.
Yeah. Great band.
And Deus, another one of my favorites. Yeah, Gene. Just countless bands actually. But I mean, I don't know where they came from at that time. But once we were signed, you just sort of get phone calls telling you what you're doing next, and it's okay. Okay, I'll do that then. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't really follow what's going on. You just keep being pleasantly surprised by what's turning up. And of course, we ended up on later with Jules Holland as well.
Oh wow! Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we could find that on YouTube then, presumably somewhere.
Yeah, it's there. It's floating about.
Okay. Again, I mean, that's pretty exciting as well, where a lot of bands sort of get broken, isn't it? Or, I don't mean broken in a bad way. I mean in terms of getting
either way, really.
You know what I mean, in terms of getting wider recognition.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge deal, and I mean, we were on with John Cale as well, another one of my heroes.
Oh wow, yeah.
So that was amazing. I mean, it's quite mind blowing, really. You do find yourself stood there thinking, what we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was a 3-album deal, I believe, that you were signed up for.
We signed for 6 albums, but we got dropped after the second one.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And is that always part of a general sort of contract that you have with record labels? Is that they review it after each album or each tour or whatever? Was it a surprise to you? I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's no, we knew it was coming up. Actually, we knew we were going to get dropped because we just weren't selling enough.
Right.
But the when you get the record company will sign you for a lot of albums, and it's the more albums you think oh, it's a 7-album deal, that's brilliant, but it's not really. That's sort of in the record company's favor, because until you've cleared your advances and stuff, they can drop you at any time they want.
Right. Okay.
And you can't do anything about it. So
yeah.
So yes. So I mean, we got signed for 6 albums, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the second album sold almost exactly the same as the first album, and that was, and they spent a lot of money on us by then. So it's
right.
And Ireland had just been bought out by Universal Records as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So it sort of turned into a different beast, really, and they didn't have any real interest. All the people that had actually signed us in the first place had moved on and been replaced. So it's sort of a different place altogether then.
And in terms of, I mean, I know nothing about all this. So all the kit and that you've been using when you're out and recording and doing shows and stuff like that. I mean, at the end of it, do you get to keep all that, or does?
Oh yeah, that's all yours. I mean,
that's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, they give you an advance and you buy all that yourself.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, yeah.
So it's not kind of on loan to you from the record label then.
No.
Okay, so you still got a nice bit of kit in that left over.
Yeah, I mean, all my decent guitars were bought, strangely enough, in the first month after getting signed. Yeah.
And so after you've been dropped by Ireland, did you carried on as a band for a while, or was that it for the band?
No. I mean, well, Ray, the guitarist, emigrated to Hong Kong.
Right. That's even harder to do rehearsals then.
That was pretty tricky. Yeah. But then I started doing some solo stuff. Although I did go out to Hong Kong a few times, and when we got another bass player and drummer over there and did some gigs over in Hong Kong. Yeah. So, so I just sort of did solo stuff and recorded a solo album. Right. And then in 2006 I got roped in to play guitar for the Blue Aeroplanes. Yeah. And which was I was supposed to be standing on guitar for one tour. Right. But then I ended up being with them for 10 years then.
Okay, and they're Bristol based as well, so
yeah. Well, John, the Witness drummer, is the Blue Aeroplanes drummer. So
I mean, they've had a remarkable number of people play with them over the years, haven't they?
I think 60 plus. I think.
Yeah. I think if you go on their Wikipedia page, it's got a whole list of everyone who's ever played with them. I think so. Yeah. And they did one show, I think, when they had like 15 guitarists or something like
that. That's certainly believable. I mean, on the last song of the set, if anybody that they know that's about and however many, if we can get a guitar, then we'll get them up on stage. So I've probably played with 10 or 11 at a time. But if you say the record's 15, that doesn't surprise me at all.
And they're still active, but you're not with them anymore.
No,
either.
yeah, they're still going. They've got another. I dropped out when they were sort of halfway through recording the album, which is about to come out next year, I think.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're just concentrating on your solo stuff now.
I'm also in a duo with my partner,
Right.
who was also an ex-Blue Aeroplanes member, Hazel Winter.
Is there anyone in Bristol who hasn't played with the Blue Aeroplanes?
I don't think so. There aren't many, that's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, so we're in a duo called the Jesus Bolt. And we've our debut album's coming out in November this year.
Oh, cool.
We're going out on tour on November and December.
So this is with your partner. So
yeah.
So you can't separate over musical differences or anything like that then?
No. No. We can just sulk a lot and go into different rooms, but come tea time,
then write about it and I'll write a new song.
Yeah, but come tea time, we've always got to reform.
And presumably you don't have a record deal or anything like that at the moment. It's all done off your own back, is it? Or
we're putting it out independently. There's a friend of mine who's he used to run the Witness website, and he's put my solo albums out, and he's putting the Jesus Bolt out on his Lupine indie label.
Yeah. And you said your partner used to play with JD Meatyard as well, who obviously is a friend of the website as well.
Yeah, she was she plays in a group called the Flux Capacitors.
Yeah.
And Collective Eyes, that's it, the JD Meatyard album.
Yeah.
Collective Eyes.
Okay.
She played guitar and did some singing on that, and as I say, recorded it in our front room, I think.
Oh right, okay. in the house that you're sat in now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh right, okay. Cool, excellent. So and presumably you've both got similar music tastes, then you and your partner.
Similar, yeah. I mean, there's enough crossover for us to do stuff. Originally, we started. Hazel was bringing out a book of poetry,
right?
And to promote that, because she was used to being in bands, she wanted to have some sort of musical backing for it,
right?
And so originally we just sort of started working out how to do some musical backing for some of her poems, and then it just went from there. We just started doing some of my songs, and then we started doing some of her songs, and it turned into a proper thing then.
Yeah. And I believe you had a song played on American Pie too as well.
We did, yeah. Here's One for You. We didn't want it to be on, actually, to be honest, because I mean, if you've ever seen American Pie 2, you can imagine why.
Well, I saw American Pie 1. That was enough. So I can't imagine American Pie 2 was any better.
But no. Basically, Universal, the record company, and I think it was Universal Pictures or something that American Pie 2 is, and they asked us, did we want to put the track on? And we said no, and they said, well, if you don't put it on, we'll consider that you're not attempting to promote your album seriously, and so we're not going to give you a touring budget.
Right. Okay.
Just dirty tricks. So it was either do that or not go on tour again.
Right. Okay.
So we did that, and then got dropped fairly soon after that anyway. So it was fairly pointless.
So you didn't even get paid any extra for that?
No, we had to waive royalties for it as well, because it was yeah.
Wow, that's pretty harsh, isn't it?
It was, yeah. It was. I mean, you would think it would be it'd be quite exciting having a track on a film, which I suppose it would be, but it was a crap film, and it was under unpleasant circumstances.
And you didn't make any money.
No. We had another track on what's it called, Cougar Town. Can you remember that?
No.
It was one of the Friends cast.
Okay.
It was sort of a spin-off from Friends or something. So we had one track on there.
Right, okay.
And I think although I never heard it, I think we had one of the tracks, Scars, off the first album, played on a roundup of the worst missed goals of the season on some football program as well. But I think that's about it. I think that's just
So people can hear your stuff then in some pretty obscure places, and if they go onto the internet.
Yeah, in all the wrong places. Yeah.
So what's life been like for you in lockdown in terms of your music, and Because I think you have been recording, haven't you, through lockdown, and you've got a new album coming out.
Yeah, I mean, we've been incredibly lucky because as I said, me and Hazel, we live. We've got all our stuff here, so it hasn't really got. We've just I mean, lockdown. The first lockdown, we actually really enjoyed it, to be honest. Yeah, it was, and so we've just been sort of playing. We've actually got the next Jesus Bolt album written before we've released this one yet, because we've had so much time to be doing that. Yeah.
Excellent. And is it easy enough to just record and then put stuff out? I guess these days it's a lot easier, isn't it, in terms of just being able to put stuff out on the internet?
Yeah, I mean, just put stuff out on Bandcamp. That's the best way for us, really, with no real backing or anything. We are bringing this album out on vinyl as well.
Right. Yeah. Okay, which is making a big resurgence, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And there's huge sort of it takes ages to get the thing through. I think there's a waiting of about sort of 4 or 5 months for us to actually get the pressed copies back. And
are you both sort of multi-instrumentalists, or do you get mates in and that as well to help out when you're recording?
We get John again, the Witness drummer. He does, and another drummer, Paul Wygans. So we get someone in to play the drums for us, and then we get various people in to do bits and pieces, but sort of any keyboards that you can play with sort of 2 fingers or less, I'll do them, and sometimes I'll play the bass if it's really simple, or I'll get someone that can actually play the bass to do it if it's a bit more complicated. Yeah,
excellent, cool.
But I mean, we do sort of 90% of the record. We do actually go into the studio to do it.
Right.
So we don't record at home. We tried that a little bit, but we just get on each other's nerves too much. We do. It's just neither of us are very techy, and so you end up just sort of arguing over who pressed what wrong button rather than getting on with playing. So we tried it for a while and thought, just sod this. Let's just go in the studio and get.
Sounds like my wife and me trying to do DIY around the house.
Yeah, I can believe it.
And you're going to be doing a show for the Spirit Sodality.
Yeah.
Coming up beginning of September. So
4th of September, I think. Yeah.
4th of September, live on the Spirit Sodality Facebook page, which will be fantastic. Any ideas yet as to what you're going to be playing, how long a set you're going to do? And obviously you've got a big back catalogue that you can pull from.
I haven't given it a hell of a lot of thought yet, but I'll do a bit from every stage. So I'll do a few Witness songs and a few solo songs, and I'll probably drag Hazel in to do a few Jesus Bolt songs as well. Yeah, so I'll cover a Greatest Misses set.
The Greatest Misses. Yeah. Well, you're still smiling about it, despite all the ups and downs of your life in the music industry. So, and obviously, you said you got enough material for another album as well after this one.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, we're going to start recording that soon. We're sort of ready to go in to record it now, really. But we've got a tour for this album coming the end of November.
Okay.
We don't want to get too deeply into the next record before we've even promoted this one, so we're sort of sitting on that for a while.
And where can we find out the details for the tour then? You've got a website, presumably.
Yeah, we've got which we haven't put the dates up on yet, but we have. I mean, they're still coming in. We're only just fixing them. But if you go to our Facebook page, the Jesus Bolt Facebook page, they're all up there.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Brilliant. And obviously with COVID and that, no signs that there's going to be any problems with those shows in November. Hopefully
no, but I mean, that's why we left it till November to bring it out. Really, just hopefully there shouldn't be any problems now.
And is that all around the UK, or do you sort of stay local to the Bristol area? Or
well, usually we do, but with this tour, we're going as far north. In fact, we're playing in Scotland. We're playing in Stirling.
Oh wow! Okay.
And coming right down south. Yeah, so it is straight right across the country. Yeah.
You're not coming past my way, are you? I'm in Exeter. In Exeter.
Yeah, well, Exeter's the last day, I think. The Cavern, is it?
Oh, the Cavern.
Yeah. That's the 11th of December. We're there. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, I'll have to try and come along to that. That'd be great. So
come down and bring 80 friends with you.
Have you played there before?
I played there with the Blue Aeroplanes. Actually, it was a brilliant night. Actually, on the last tour I did. It was fantastic. Yeah,
it's a great little venue. Actually,
it was a real sweaty, messy evening. It's great.
I've not been there for a long time. The last time I was there, I was Half Man Half Biscuit, actually,
Yeah.
many years ago. So we're obviously friends of JD Meatyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great venue, actually. So that's in December. I will certainly look out for that.
Yeah, December the 11th, that one. I remember that because that's the last day. Yeah.
Okay. A nice warm up for Christmas. So. Okay, well, brilliant. Thank you for your time, Gerard.
Cheers.
It's been really nice to meet you. And
thank you.
We look forward to seeing you on the 4th of September.
Yeah.
So this will go out before then, so people can put it in their diaries, and either watch it live or watch it on catch up, as we all do these days. So brilliant. Nice to meet you and have a chat with you. Andrew. And look forward to hopefully maybe seeing you properly in December.
Yeah.
Okay. All the best to you. Cheers, mate. Bye.